think I'm live. Add you. Go here. Hey, anybody who's watching, I'm trying to figure this out. So give me just a moment. There we go. Hey. All right. Sounds good. Hey, I see Charlie. All right. All right, Charlie. It's you and me. Hey, let me know, number one, if the sound's okay. I was dealing with a feedback loop. This is my first time using StreamYard. So any information you can give me is good. You know how my podcasts are supposed to sound, and you know how my videos are supposed to sound. So that's what I'm shooting for. If you can hear me, I'm assuming you can hear me. I know there's a delay, I think, from sounds good to me. Cool. There's a delay from what I'm saying to the video on YouTube, I believe, which is fine. Let's see. This is cool. Looks like it's going to work. So the idea is that I can see comments here and you can see me, but then also I can do work right here, which is cool. Let's see. So I can sculpt here. All right. All right. Charlie, I can always depend on you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's make sure this is good here. All right. So what are we doing tonight? I got a bunch of stuff. Got to move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. So for anybody else who ends up tuning in, this guy, the plan is for him to be in, and I don't know who this character is, Annomander Rake. Am I saying that right? Annomander? Charlie, you probably know more about him than I do. I believe he's a video game guy. So I need to sculpt some hair, and I need to sculpt some armor on his chest. And I think that might do it for tonight on this guy. This other one is going to be a werewolf, and I'm using this really cool beast. I should move my coffee out of the way. Using this really cool beast Hank McCoy head sculpt that I got. There we go. That I got like years ago, and I meant to use them, and I never did. So I want to sculpt it to look more like a werewolf. That's the idea. And I'm looking at it right now, and I see a couple of things that need to be worked out. So while I'm doing all this, if anybody has questions, comments, Charlie, as long as you're here, every once in a while, shoot me just a little update about the sound and video. If there's any issues, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I figure I'll go about, I don't know, hopefully we'll go about an hour or so. And like I said, this is my first attempt with StreamYard. So bear with me if it gets weird. Let's see. All right. Oh, there you go. There's your comment. Okay. Annomander Rake. I'm unfamiliar with him, but from what I can find, I think he's a character from either a fantasy series or an RPG. Yeah, you're right. I've got a few reference pictures. Awesome name, Annomander Rake, right? Sounds like some kind of Annomander Rake. I don't know. It sounds like some kind of cool dude. That's what it sounds like. So I'm busting out my Abe's epoxy, my 2-part epoxy sculpt. And this stuff is getting really old. I've got some new stuff, but I don't like to waste it. You can see when this stuff gets old, it gets like there's like a two-tone color in there. It shouldn't be that way. I mean, it still works, still perfectly usable, but it's just almost time to re-up. I've got my crew. I'll give you guys a sneak peek at some stuff that I've been working on when I have spare time for myself. So I've got a couple vintage Kenner. Hey, Fun Lab Design Studio in the house. Hang Solo sounds good. Awesome. Thank you. In the pictures I saw, he looks like a dark elf. Yeah, he's giant. He's like huge. He's like The Witcher. Anyway, I'm working on some vintage Kenner guys for myself. Just like kit bashing a bunch of weirdos. Look at this one. Look at Nine Gnome all dapper and stuff. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, those guys are keeping me company over here. I'll probably talk about them a little bit more later. I think what I'm going to do first is I think I'm going to start with Annomander and some of his armor and his hair. So I can do those. I can kind of sculpt his hair and then add some armor on there while his hair is cure or hardening up a little bit. So what I've got here, this is a Doc Samson face head. I don't know where the hair came from. Can't remember. The armor, shoulder armor, and a little bit of the skirt here is Carl Urban, his character from the second or third, what you call your Pitch Black. There you go. Carl Urban from Pitch Black. That's where I got those. The rest of the figure is Rawl, WRAAL, from the Toy Biz Marvel Legends thing. And even though it's an outdated body per se, pretty much only at the hips, it's still an awesome body to work with. I really like it, especially for this kind of like job, this like fantasy, sci-fi fantasy deal. And for Annomander Rake, again, if anybody knows Annomander Rake out there, Vaco, yeah, hook us up with some knowledge about that. So I'm excited to learn more about him. So I'm gonna hit some what you call your hair. I'm gonna do some hair while you guys are hanging out. I really, really appreciate y'all being here. It's awesome. A tip with this stuff, I just fingerprinted my glasses. A tip with this stuff is pull less out of it than you think you need, because I always have extra after I've mixed it, and then it goes to waste. So I don't like to waste stuff. Excited to be here. Awesome. You guys are great. I haven't done my goal is to do a live stream at least once a week, because I'm going to be working anyway, doing this stuff, especially at night. So why not just throw a camera on and film it, right? And if for some reason I miss somebody's question, like I said, there's a delay from StreamYard to YouTube, which is fine. But if I miss somebody's question and I don't answer it, put it back, do it again, write it again. So that'd be awesome. So I've got my A and B of my parts A and part B of my what you call it? Two-part epoxy, Aves. I like Aves. And actually Aves is super cool. Shout out to Aves, where I get my epoxy from and all kinds of stuff. They sent me a batch of cool things that I'll show you. Some like safety solvent and some epoxy for a giveaway, and a really cool mat, like a sculpting mat. They sent me some stuff for myself and then for a giveaway that I'm going to do. Part of it on the Patreon and part of it on my Instagram. FYI. You're multitasking, currently working on some art. Awesome. For those of you who don't know, Charlie Gushy here in the chat. He's a good friend. He's not only a good friend, he's a member of my Patreon, one of my oldest members, and he's an amazing artist. If you look at my Instagram feed, you'll see this guy. And Charlie, I'm sorry I haven't sent him yet because I need to do his video. But you'll see this guy. one of Charlie's original concepts. He's a Jedi who lost his Koshiro Fang. He lost his arm, and so he uses the Force to regenerate his arm, and so he has an extra arm. So anyway, Charlie Gushie is just an amazing artist. His concepts are so cool, stuff that I wish I thought of a lot of times. Collector Express YouTube. I'm not sure about the question, but for Charlie Gushie, I think Ronin Logan X. Charlie, throw like a link in the comments for your stuff or for your channel or whatever it is. I guess throw it in for your Instagram or whatever you want. All you guys are welcome to do that so you can connect with each other. It's all about community, and I mean that. Community. All right. So I've got my 2-part epoxy, a little bit that I've mixed right there. I also need some sculpting tools, which are right here. I want this guy, not that guy. I want this guy, this one, and this one. So I'm using, these are my sculpting tools for tonight. I absolutely love. You can't sculpt without dentist tools, these guys. Okay. This is my favorite one. It's like almost like a spear when you look at it. And then these silicone brush tips. A tip about these tips, make sure you clean them off after every use because it starts to gunk up and whatever. What else? And then I also have some, there it is. And this is my little cup that I use for my safety solvent, which is, I don't see it. Grab a new one. Just make sure I don't have an open one. Okay. So I use Abe's safety solvent. I got a few of these. I thought I had one open. Let me just double check. Not there. Okay. So water, if you're using Abe's epoxy, water works totally fine. But Abe's safety solvent, which is the same company that makes the epoxy, designs this stuff to specifically work with, get out of here, to work with the epoxy, and it kind of dissolves it and makes it a little less grainy. So I really like that. Smooths it out a little bit. Get rid of that. You just do a little deal. Boom. Take that off. Take this off. Pow. All right, let's get rid of that. And then you got your little do thing here. Oh yeah, man. Is that Art Balthazar? Art Balthazar in the comments over there. I figured it out, Art. Thanks for the tips. All right, Abe's safety solvent. Again, less is more. I just put a little bit in my little cup do thing. For those of you who don't know, Art Balthazar, he's a famous cartoonist. He's a good friend. He's one of the owners over at Oh Yeah Comics in beautiful downtown Skokie. Owner of the publisher Oh Yeah Comics. He's royalty over there. Thanks for being here, my friend. Go check him out as well. All right. Don't let this stuff, a lot of people say that when you mix your Aves, that you should let it sit for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I say go for it right off the bat, because the longer you let it sit, the less it wants to effectively adhere to whatever it is that you're sculpting onto. So in this case, I'm doing hair, and I want it to almost meld with the figure. What you got? We'll check out that. I do more illustration, graphic art, and animation character designs. I did Lady Deathstrike. Yeah, you do. Go check out Fun Lab Design Studio as well. All you guys in the comments here are jamming. All right, so if you can see, there's a big, bring this up. There's a big like gap of underneath his hair from this like wig that I took off of somebody else. So I need to get some epoxy up under there as a hair strand, and then bring it up with the rest of the hair. So I'm going to cut that off there. And then just like make it one. When you sculpt, it's all about bringing everything together. Kind of like what's happening here. What up? Nice shout out. All right. Boom. All right. So I do my rough blend. I do my rough blend here into the hairline. And I'm gonna get the total coverage, and I'm gonna come back in with the details with my my sculpting tools. So first thing I want to do is just make sure that everything is jiving, that I've got the coverage with the epoxy that I need. So it's going to look like he's got a bunch of like white stripes in his hair for a while until I can get into the details. What else is happening? I've got Portlandia on in the background as well. I don't know if you guys are fans of Portlandia, but it's one of my favorite shows. It's hilarious. Now I've got another gap. You see that skin colored gap right in there? I got to get some more epoxy up in there. So what I'm going to do actually is just get like a chunk so it's an even surface. Up in there. Dentist tool. Squish it in. It's all about shapes. Cut the shape so that it's uniform. Now I've got like an even surface where that gap was, and I can like lay over it. Charlie says he finally started watching season 2 Bad Batch last night, waiting for Mando. I'm excited to dig further in. How far did you get, Charlie? I don't want to say anything and spoil. Bad Batch is super good, though. I'll tell you that. I tell you that. Last night's Mando. I won't say any spoilers. I know it's brand new, and some people haven't been able to watch it yet. But it was way better in my mind. In my mind, it was way better than the first episode, which I have issues with after I sat and thought about it. Fun Labs Bad Batch actually isn't too bad. Seen it too. Mando is great as always. I think Mando will end up being great. Totally. It's kind of like the dependable show out of the bunch. Just the first two, yeah. Yeah. I do for those of you who don't know, I do a Star Wars podcast called I Have Spoken. You can find it everywhere that you pod. And we recorded our comeback episode last week, and it was about that first episode of Mando. And at the time, I was really into it, but had some issues. But now I've got even more for that first episode. But this new episode was great. Bad Batch is amazing. Charlie, if you're only on 2, man, watch that third episode tonight, because that third episode is where it's just like, holy balls, it's crazy. So you can see what I'm doing here, kind of. Come on, camera. There we go. So it looks like a mess, but I'm just getting the basics down, the shapes, before I start detailing it. This one needs to go into there. Also, this head, this Doc Samson head, only had one ear, or maybe it had no ears. So that means that I got to cover that up with hair, like sculpt new hair over the ears, which will be fine, no problem. I'm basically just like creating strands of hair. Let's see. I think if you guys know Ace of Clay on YouTube, he calls them snakes of clay. He uses clay though. He uses what you call it, super sculpty clay. I'm using Abe's epoxy. It's different, but similar. What else? Let's see. All right, let's get another one over here where that space is. Okay. Last thing, let's see. They made up for my one major complaint with Mando season 3, episode 1, in the second episode. So now I mostly just have personal gripes. Yeah. You know, this isn't like a personal thing, personal gripe or whatever, but it just baffles me that with the first episode, for the general audience that doesn't watch like all Star Wars content like we all probably do, for the general audience, the last time they saw Grogu and Mando together was at the end of season 2 of Mando, you know, when Luke takes him. And a lot of the audience has not watched Boba Fett. And so it blew my mind when they didn't either do a recap of how we got to that point, or it just reinforces the fact that those 2 episodes of Boba Fett that had Mando and Grogu were definitely supposed to be episodes 1 and 2 of this new season. Y'all like that Star Wars Visions at all? I like some of it. Yeah, Visions was awesome, especially the the samurai one. Samurai Visions. I really like that one. There's also, they did, if you like that samurai episode of Visions, there's a really good comic, a one-shot comic that came out. Same character, and just a new story. So there's, a new story with him. I hope they do something with that character, definitely. All right. As far as the hair goes, I've sealed up all the gaps, as you can tell. And I could start shaping and detailing. I'm going to do that with a lot with this guy. Got to get his hairline right. getting there. It's getting there. Let's see. It's a major issue on a whole other level. Lucasfilm definitely took a misstep in inserting. Yeah. Wow, that looks great. Thank you so much. The Ronin has a novel and a comic now. Plus, I believe they've announced that he will be getting another episode. I hope so. I also heard the second season of Visions is going to be more than just Japanese animation. So it's going to be global animation, like from, I think like Australia and just different places all over the world. So that's pretty cool. All right. Hairline. I'd like to check out. Have you read the Ronin novel? I haven't read that. I'm gonna get into the other thing. You want to make sure Abe's epoxy takes your fingerprints really well. So you want to. I use the safety solvent to get rid of any, smooth out any fingerprints. Otherwise, it will look like slop. And I'll post pictures of everything that I finish here in my Instagram story and in more detail on the Patreon. If you guys are interested in joining my Patreon, it's patreon.com/actoydesign. I do all my behind the scenes stuff there, and my podcast, my toy podcast is on there. All right. I feel like everything I added is mostly seamless. Got to work the epoxy into the crevice and creases, as my friend Craftsman would say. All right. All right. So where I'm at, I have incorporated the epoxy that I added for hair strands and covering and filling gaps onto the hair, like onto it, so that it's like seamlessly from like epoxy to plastic hair. It's pretty mostly seamless, so that I can start adding actual hair details on top of it, strands of hair and stuff like that. Been doing Fun Labs has been working on recent album backing artwork, digital painting for a client at the moment. So it's been consuming my time. Hey, you got to stay busy, right? It's good. So I'm going with the hair indentations that are already there, so that my new stuff hopefully will look like it's supposed to be there, rather than some kind of like weird wig that he's wearing. And as you're using these silicone brushes to do these details, it's going to start to accumulate epoxy onto the tip. And so make sure, whoa, sorry, I'll fix that. Got to grab this. I got a rag in my lap just to keep everything clean. We'll join the Patreon. That's awesome, man. We'll anytime you're ready, we'll be there. Welcome anytime. Hey, Karis 1. What's going on? Thanks for joining. I am sculpting some hair here for Annomander Rake, whoever he is. This is for a client, member of my Patreon, one of my awesome oldest members. He loves some really obscure characters, and I love making them for him because usually I'm the first one to do that. Now, one thing I forgot to add here that I'm going to do it right now is a little touch of a sideburn. That's what he's missing. Just a touch. Hey, Egum. I don't know if you guys can hear Egum over there moaning. All right. So this would go about there. Clean that up. Right. What's going on here? Moaning for puppy. Yeah. We had to go to UPS twice today to ship some packages. They always give him treats. So he had like double servings and he barfed because he was so excited and had too many treats. So using these silicone tip brushes, it's a lot like painting. The strokes are just as important. But it's interesting because it kind of like creates a three-dimensional stroke, obviously. All right, where are we going? Let's go here. That's funny. Ladies do for our Chewy at Michael's. When we go too hilarious, they're older ladies too, so they just go nuts. Yeah, dogs are awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, we go to Michael's too on occasion. I mean, Egum goes everywhere I go, but when we go to Michael's, he knows all the spots that are like going to give him treats. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna move over to this side. Got to keep it moving. Yeah, he's definitely spoiled, that's for sure. I wonder if, yeah, I guess you can't. For live streams using StreamYard, I wonder if you can add music and post. Does anybody know if that's possible? I didn't want to have anything playing too loud because you don't want to like copyright strike if I played music. You see me rubbing like that on through here? I'm trying to blend the edges of the hair that I added into the hair plastic that's already there so it looks more seamless. I'm getting there. Got some good details going. I'll probably add a second layer once this is cured to the hair. What are we talking about here? Let's see. You can add music or play it from the YouTube library. It's true, the YouTube library. I wonder, is that in post? Do you think I can do that, or is it something I would have to do right now, like while we're still live? I wonder. Yeah, my dentist tools. So I've got so many of them. I've got a whole like just arsenal of stuff. Dentist tools. I also use these guys. These are knitting needles. You can take a knitting needle and cut one in half or leave it whole. If you cut one in half, maybe it's easier to use, but it's a really good like tool as well. I really like them. Lots you can do with them. You can have it on the side by opening up another tab. Okay. Yeah. Huh. You know, that's a good idea. If I open up the tab, go to Audio library. Let's see. Let's go with what mood are we in? Dramatic? No. Funky. Apply. All right, this might be too loud at the beginning. Let's see. All right, I turn it down. Can you guys hear that? Let me know. Going with them oats. Don't forget the oats. All right, I put music on. If it's too loud, let me know. If you can't hear it at all, I'll turn it off. Like this. All right. I've been thinking about trying my hand at sculpting. I know you recommend picking up dentist tools. Um, dentist tools, where to go? Dentist tools for the sculpting, but I'm trying to settle on a medium. Yeah, I mean, dentist tools are going to work for Aves epoxy or super sculpey, self hardening like air dry or bake. I'm sorry, bake clay. So though I'd get them regardless. Do you have those cool alcohol torches? I don't have any alcohol torches. Um, I've got a tiny studio apartment and animals in here, and I worry about fumes. So a little bit. Let me know about the music again. I got it still playing in here. Let me turn it down a little more. I can hear it. I don't know. As long as there's something playing, some ambient. Let's see. Isn't there a clay that can bake to set and add on to later? Yeah. So that's right here. Super Sculpting. Um, Super Sculpey. This is baked clay, polymer clay. That's what you want for that. And that is what I used for, uh, let's see. I used this polymer clay for, I think, oh, yeah, yeah. All right. So I used the polymer clay for my Egum robot. See that? Charlie, my Egum robot, my everyday robot. It's kind of my mascot. Got him before I got Egum the dog, but this robot was named after Mooj. It's her name backwards, who passed a couple years ago. And then I got Egum, and I gave him her name, which is her name backwards. So anyway, this is polymer clay. This is bake clay. So um, I sculpt the body and then bake it, add the arms, shoulders, bake it, add this and that, bake it. So you just keep going back and forth, as opposed to, which is this stuff, as opposed to my Aves two-part epoxy, which is self-hardening. Takes about, you leave it overnight and it cures. Um, good sculpting you can bake. Different ones starting out. DSN, what's up? Derek in the house. Good to see you, my man. Starting out, too thick water and a hobby knife is all you need without investing too much. He's right. Less is more. Learn with the bare essentials and then work your way up. Um, Derek, another solid creator, artist in the community. The dude makes some awesome. I thought I had your guy right here. I moved him. Where did he go? The emissary. He's here somewhere. Anyway, check out DSN 1014 on Instagram. He's got some awesome stuff. Cool. You ever use Milliput for hardening sculpts? Just fix it and shows. Yeah, a lot of people like that. I know Toy Poloi likes Milliput. I've never tried it. I want to get into, what's that stuff called? Procreate. The flexible. I gotta get into here before it gets too hard. The flexible epoxy, because I want to be able to I think if I could do that, a lot of people use that for hair. and it gives that way you don't have to worry about like the strands breaking or being so fragile. Which if you do it right, they don't, but it's still a possibility. Um, let's see. So I've never used Milliput. Yeah, Igum. It's an awesome bot. Thank you. Yeah, he's awesome. I love him. I did. So I let's see. Super Sculpting sounds like a good start for me. It is, Charlie, because it's like you can screw it up and then just keep messing with it, until you get it, and then you don't have to bake it until you get it. Thank you. It is an awesome bot. I love it. Rest in peace, Mooj. Thank you. Absolutely. Super Sculpting sounds like a good start. Milliput works for the same as Aves. It does. Although, I don't know, Derek. I think from what I've seen, Milliput seems like more of a mess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, interchangeably, you can definitely do that. G.I. Joe Classified is pumping some great figures lately. Yes, they are. Here's another one. This is my homage to the Wraith. This is my. What was the name of this guy, Charlie? I forget his name. What was his name? I can't remember his name that I gave him. Oh, Death. Was it Death Racer? No. God, what? I'll think of it anyway. So that's Abe's. These are all my original sculpts. There's my Chud baby. Focus camera. There you go. There's my Chud baby. That was my first one. Love this guy. I need to do more of this stuff. Wraith is an awesome movie. Love it. Charlie Sheen in the house. All right, so where am I at? Let's see. I'm satisfied with the first layer of hair where it's at. Like I said, I'm gonna have to come back and do a second layer after this hardened. The next thing I want to do though with this hair before I move on. So I got a brush here that's relatively loose and soft. And I'm going to get a little bit of this safety solvent, shake it off, and just kind of like loosely go over the hair. And what it's going to do is it's any like hard edges. I don't want any hard edges on the hair. It'll soften them out. Just gently applying it over where I sculpted the details. And any sort of like similar to Flash on 3D prints. If there's any flash going on with the sculpt where like I press too hard and it's popping up and it's sharp, that'll soften that up. Clean the brush in the safety solvent always, otherwise it'll cure and it'll get all hard. All right, so this guy looks, he's getting there. Again, I'll post pictures, but it looks so weird with the white and the black, but you can see hey, Ego, take it easy. You can see where I filled in the spots, made extra strands, and Ego, it's okay. Let's see. Wraith is a good movie. I used Milliput, and after went to Aves, I never go backsies. Nice. Star Marvel 76 or Star Marvel 76. Yeah. Welcome. Good to see you. Those minis are so awesome. Chud, another great movie, right? Death Rider. It's something like that. Why can't I remember what I called this guy? It'll pop into my head at the last minute. I've never used safety solvent 2. Put that in the card. Yeah, the safety solvent is awesome. I've actually, in all of my videos on YouTube, there's affiliate links below. I don't know if there is one for that. I should add it. But anyway, I definitely recommend the safety solvent. It smooths it out rather than makes it less grainy. Thanks, Star Marvel. I will finish using the Fix Joe's enamel paints. Egu, yeah, so you can hear it. Your little dog's name is Michael. Awesome. It reminds me of that film Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. Dude, Cobra's awesome. some more music on. I gotta press play every time it stops. All right, I'm gonna move on from the hair. I got a little bit of epoxy left from that I mixed. I can always mix more, obviously. I think I'm gonna apply this. Oh, it's fragile. Scoot, Scutums. Scutums. Hey, buddy, it's okay. He's here. He can hear people outside, so he's like, you know, being a scoundrel. Having trouble finding on DVD. It's actually, yeah, I think it's out of print. I have a I have a VHS copy of The Wraith, and I have it's streaming on something. Google it. It's streaming on something. Oh yeah, Q. I've been wanting to watch that. So I talked about my toy podcast and my on my Patreon and my Star Wars podcast, but I also do a horror podcast called Death by Podcast. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Death by Podcast. And I've been wanting to talk about Q, the Serpent movie. I love stop motion, that old like Harryhausen stuff. Um, I really, really want to watch that. All right, where are we at? Let me think. Let me see these reference photos real quick. Boom. Okay. Okay. Charlie, let's see. Movie. Yeah, I love that movie poster. Um, Charlie, if you like The Wraith, you should check out Split Second. That's Mark Hamill, right? Split Second? Or is that Rucker Hauer? It's one of those two. They have absolutely nothing to do with one another, but somehow headcanon them in the same universe. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but that poster, Split Second. I think it's Rucker Hauer or Mark Hamill. It's one of the two. You creature's head looks like the Wraith's helmet. Yeah. All right, what am I doing? Let's see. Let me look at this really quick, make sure I'm happy. That goes there, there, and there. One of my favorite tools. It's like this sewing pick. Love this thing. It'll give me a deeper groove than the silicone. Sorry, sometimes I hold this thing to my chest too close when I sculpt, and I forget that I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing. So this will allow me to get like finer details into the hair. Sergio Guerrero El Cole. I'm gonna mess up your last name. I'm so sorry. Coleccionista. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. I'm sorry. Sorry I butchered your name. Dick Tracy, man. I gotta watch. Yeah, Howard. I gotta watch Dick Tracy, man. It's been too long. Looks like a murder weapon. It totally could. But it's great. It's great for sculpting. I love it so much. I know, right? I hate working for a camera, but if you're gonna do these live streams or any kind of videos, you got to figure it out. And it's a pain in the butt, but it's part of the process. Right now, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel monetized, and I still need like a couple thousand hours of watch time from viewers. So if you guys have nothing else to do, check out my old videos, or just turn your YouTube on in the background. Just let it play. because I love doing this for. I want to be able to do this for the rest of my life. It'd be great if I could do it for a living. All right, that's cool. Let me get. Keeps gunking up my needle here. Get you guys another song. Let me know if you can still even hear this stuff. The song is called Spooky Boop. You probably can't even hear it. Thanks, dude. You guys are going to help. I appreciate that. Yeah, giant magnifier, like a big circle in front of you, so you'd hold it. I was thinking about getting one of those. Right. Liking it. It's getting there. Just here learning of your work and practicing my English. Awesome. Thanks for being here, man. Sergio, thanks for being here. Um, hopefully we'll be doing this more often. I love hanging out with you guys. It's awesome. I spend too much time alone. That's not true. I got Egum and I don't know if you guys know uh, I got a three-legged cat. I adopted a three-legged cat recently. It was just she's great, but she sleeps all day, so we don't get to interact with her very much. Thanks, buddy. Love you guys. Pretty in Pink, heck yeah, dude. So any John Hughes stuff, it's my favorite, all time favorite. Anytime it's on, or if it's not on, I'll put it on because I own all those. Pretty in Pink is phenomenal. Breakfast Club is probably my favorite movie of all time. Weird Science, Some Kind of Wonderful. What else is in there? Uncle Buck. Where my Uncle Buck peeps? Egum. Take it easy. Take it easy. Hey, buddy. You know they can hear you, right? You doing that intentionally? All right. I went ahead and did deeper details with my pick there. I'm going to go and smooth them out a bit with this guy. All right. Cabochon. What else? Good. All right, one more time. I'm gonna go back with my brush. What are we saying here? Uncle Buck, custom Buck, custom Bender. Yes, Bender's. That last scene, and it's my favorite scene. It's the best scene in any movie. The last scene, Mr. Mom, absolutely. Splash, absolutely. Anything 80s. Pencil Lad, welcome. Uncle Buck's car. What's the dude's name that she's dating? It's like Bug. Is it Bug? Hilarious. John Candy. What a gem. All right. I think I'm going to quit with his hair and move on to his armor. Space Hunter. What is Space Hunter? Is Molly Ringwald in Space Hunter? Did you see Charlie Wright on? What's up, Charlie? Another good friend, member of my Patreon. He's awesome. Charlie Wright makes the best beef jerky. I just put you on the spot again. Did you see Last Unicorn? Yeah, it's been too long though. The car had a wooden lead and eye patch. I'm sure you could sculpt a leg. Did we get the name of the guy that she was dating? Did we figure that out? Pretty sure it was Bug. All right. Cool. All right. Hair's good for now. I'll leave the hair. All right. Where are we at? My camera freeze up? All right. There we go. All right. We're going to move on to some armor. And this little chunk that I had earlier, I don't think I can get anything out of that. So I'm going to mix some new stuff. Where are we at? Molly Ringwald. Yeah. I keep seeing the poster for that movie, so I'm going to check it out. Definitely. Hammer Films. Absolutely. Peter Cushing. Absolutely. I watch every Saturday night. I watch Sven Gulli. He's a Chicago guy, Berwyn, and he shows a lot of Hammer stuff. But man, Chris, it's crazy how Peter Cushing, that dude is a brawler. Like every movie that he's in, all those Hammer movies, he's always brawling with somebody, and especially like Christopher Lee's Dracula, maybe one of the best, maybe one of the top two best Draculas, maybe the best Dracula ever. I'm gonna mix up some more of this for his armor. Where are we at? I think I work in film as I believe anime now. Yes, film. Did I know you got to work on Prey as a special effects third assistant? Yeah, I did know that. You told me that. It's so cool. Such a great movie. Quaff. Yeah. Ernie Hudson's awesome. Michael Ironside's awesome. Rico. Yeah. Star Marvel 76. Oh yeah. Sven Gulli. Yeah, right. 81. Jeez. He's been doing it 40 years. I saw my first horror movie on Sven Gulli. And right now he's auditioning for what I think is his replacement. He hasn't said officially, but it's called the Spawn of Sven Gulli. And I put an audition tape in. Fingers crossed I get it right. that'd be hilarious. RoboCop, one of my favorites. I got the poster right over my bed. Rich Coe is the Coe Zone. Heck yeah. Yeah. I don't know about 2 and 3, man. I mean, I know they've got their fans, definitely. RoboCop 1 is a flawless sci-fi movie, one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. 2 and 3 are hard. They're hard for me to get into. All right, I always eyeball my epoxy mix. That's how much I'm mixing parts A and B for some chest armor. Let me look at my reference photo again. All right. So he's got like, I wish I could show you these, but shows what to share your screen, but I'm not going to go. Excuse me, I'm not going to do that right now because I'll screw something up. Yeah, they're hilarious. Exorcist. You know, Exorcist is awesome. I've never seen the whole thing. I've seen the whole movie, but I've never seen it all the way through in one sitting. You know, 3 is better than the remake. Maybe, yeah, you might be right about that. I suppose RoboCop 2 has some good things. 3 exists. 3 exists. John Carpenter, yeah, Kurt Russell. I really like John Carpenter's like the Fog. It's like underappreciated movie. Chopping Mall. I did a Chopping Mall figure. Chopping Mall is awesome. That was one of my first collaborations with Dan Polydorus from Death by Toys. Go check out Death by Toys on Instagram. He's one of my best friends, local Chicago guy, and we did the Killbot from Chopping Mall like 5-6 years ago. I sculpted it for him. He did a bunch of resin copies and sold them. Erwin Papa in the house. Please, Papa, don't hurt him. What's up, man? That's flattering. Erwin Papa is an amazing artist. Go check him out on Instagram. He's one of the coolest. All right, I've almost got this mixed here. Chicago suburb. What suburb you in? I'm from the suburbs as well. All right. Make sure you mix when you're mixing your Aves epoxy. You get uh, that white through and through. Roddy Piper. Heck yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. They live. Awesome. Yeah. You know, Carpenter's like lesser known flicks are the bomb. All right. We're going to do some armor on his chest. So he's got his ab crunch. I want to keep that. He's got his ab crunch right in there. He's also going to be painted like mostly black. So even though this is going on white, we will, when I paint him up, it won't interfere terribly with the color palette that I'm going to be using. It's going to be very similar. Frogs, the frogs. Yeah, frogs. Frogs, ants, the tarantula one. So I'm going to build this sculpted armor around his ab crunch. So it's going to go like almost in a U shape, and I'll continue it on another session of sculpting on his abs that'll be smoothed out enough to go up under his ab crunch so that we can keep that. I also want, since I'm going over the top here, you want to make sure that you don't get it too far down where on these sides it'll scrape. You don't want that. Sam Elliott was in front. Oh yeah, I think Svengoolie played that Frogs recently. Sam Elliott. I remember him being in that totally. All right, where's my guy? There was another one of those on Svengoolie, another one of those giant creature movies with rabbits. It was called Night of the Something, and these rabbits. It had DeForest Kelly was the star, who is Bones from Star Trek, the original Bones. That dude is awesome, man. I mean, he's great on. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but he's awesome on that show as Bones, and in this movie, he was awesome. Seeing like Bones with a shotgun was pretty cool. Night of the Lepus. That's totally it. Oh man, Spangoolie's awesome, man. You get some good movies on that show every Saturday night since I was like probably like 1984. All right, I'm gonna go here-ish. I'm gonna go here-ish. No more. I'm gonna go. Yeah. Wait, where we at? Val and Earl, I missed one. Oh, Val and Earl from Tremors. Yeah. It's awesome. .3D creature, yeah. I saw what you call your what's his name? What's that guy? Readful Things on Instagram. Go check him out. He did a 3D creature figure that I think is on eBay right now. Maybe not. I don't know. But man, it was awesome. I think it was either a mold of two that were like stuck together. One, and the front one was red and the back one was blue. It was awesome. It was genius. All right. I got the basic shape of his armor going on. I need, again, you get that flash kind of that you would in 3D printing or resin work. You want to make sure you get all that off. Charlotte's Web, awesome. Wolfman Jack, man. You guys are into horror. Go check out my podcast, Death by Podcast. I think you'll dig it. It's a little more adult than most of my stuff, but definitely don't listen to it with your kids. It's fun. Co-host Kevin Kroll, good friend of mine. All right, making sure everything's quasi-symmetrical before I start adding details up in here. What I'll probably end up doing is this chest plate with straps that go to the back, and then he's going to have this cape, this cloth cape. It's going to attach, and then over the cloth cape is going to go his sword, and I need to sculpt. I'm gonna be sculpting over his scabbard or whatever that's called, sheath. Giving that some designs as well, and gluing that directly onto the cape. As far as this chest armor goes, see if we can smooth it out a bit. Creature for tremors with joints. That would be awesome. I'm gonna have to check those out. I remember Chuck Connors turning a group of teens. Yes, it's called. Oh man, it's called Tourist Trap. The Chuck Connors movie is Tourist Trap. Terrifying, especially if you have a problem with like puppets. The movie is terrifying. Chuck Connors, man. If you like Chuck Connors and horror, also check out the TV show Werewolf from 1988. Chuck Connors plays the villain werewolf. Really good show. Awesome practical effects. Charlie Gushy, if you're still here, you would love that show if you've never seen it. Some of it is streaming on YouTube, but I don't think it's had an official release in a very long time. Tourist Trap, though, is terrifying. Yeah. It's like he has telekinesis, Chuck Connors, and he like traps those kids. He uses mannequins as his like army of killers. It's I don't know, it's just bananas. Yeah, werewolf. It's awesome. All right. Yeah, it's insane. It's bananas. Totally bananas. I'm a stickler for uniformity here, and I feel like I need more up top. Yeah, tourist trap. You can see I didn't have enough up here at the top, so I added another little noodle and just blend it in, form the shape. Yeah, movie nights are awesome. Uh, pizza, popcorn, movie. We'd go to the mom and pop VHS store down the way, and pick out a couple movies for the weekend. Sleeping bags downstairs, pizza. Man, it was the best. I miss that so much. Scanners, Rick Baker, Merrick Rowe from London. Oh man, I'd love to do a custom figure. That'd be awesome. Got left alone with cable TV on while the grown-ups were out back barbecuing, and tourist trap ruined me. It was probably like 6 or 7 at the time, only to be followed by Creepshow. Man, dude, I can't imagine. I saw that movie, like, as an adult, like, in the last several years. I can't imagine watching that as a kid. All right. A little more safety solvent. Creep show. Awesome. Right. Which creep show? There's two creep shows, right? Movies. Am I right about that? I know one of them had like a giant demon. Was Creep Show also the one? Creep Show was the one with the kids on the raft with the big slime monster in the pond, right? I always mix that up with um, the other one, not Tales from the Crypt, but Creep Show 1 and 2. You watch for Walmart. It's like yuck. Looks like yeah. Creep Show 1 and 2. Those movies are crazy. Yeah, that's the ones with the swamp monster guy or the slime. This again, this tool, this spear looking one. You guys can see that. It's an awesome tool. I'm also using it to like smooth out this stuff. And when you're using when you're doing shapes like this, you can do a lot of it. You can get the basic shape, and if you want to cure it, let it cure. You can come back and do a lot of carving and sanding in post after it's cured, and you can get a lot of different details, geometric, mostly basic like geometric details. Doing it that way, but I want to get some like swirlies and weird things going on here in a second. Of the details in the armor. He's got very gothic armor. All right, that's there. That's there. Take a little bit more off his rib cage right here. A little bit stronger of an angle right here. It's better. All right. I'm so old school as far as my tools and stuff that I'm using. All right, where are we at? Let's see. Technically, there's 3. We're going to talk about the third. Okay, creep show. Is there a third creep show? I didn't know that. Gargoyles. Yeah, Gargoyles is awesome with Bernie Casey. Gargoyles, that made for TV movie. It's always on Svengoolie. I love it so much. Thanks, dude, for my Motu compliment. I miss those. I've actually got one. Is that your spear? Your go-to? Yeah, Erwin, that is my go-to. That spear. Where'd it go? I just set it down. It just vanished into this mess. Yeah, Erwin, the spear is my my go-to that I regularly use, and it's got this weird like I don't use this end over here, but that is my go-to. I love this thing. That and this guy I was using earlier. It's like a pick of some kind. I don't know what you call that. And then I would say these silicone brushes. I mean, or I don't know, brushes, whatever you want to call them. But I only, as far as the silicone ones go, I only use the flat and the cone tip. These guys. It's kind of how I started the detail of the hair from earlier, and then I went into using the pick on that. But as far as the dentist tools go, this thing is just it works wonders. I'm sure you know, but it's phenomenal. Creepshow 3 was 2006. I didn't know that. All right. Smooth it out. Now you're going to lose the spear. Yeah. See, every time I set it down, it like vanishes. All right, I got to keep it over here. It's crazy. Bad fan filmed Creepshow 3. All right. I'm still going to check it out. You know I am now that you've mentioned it. I got to check it out. Actually, that might be a good one for the podcast. I'm sure Kevin would love that. For we delayed this week. Kevin had a family thing going on, emergency. So we'll be recording episode 3 of this season next week. And for C, he chose Clue. But I wish we had known about Creepshow 3. I bet he would have picked that. But he's been on a real like 80s kick, 80s like comedy. So we're going to do Clue. Beast Within. I feel like I recently watched that as well. Oh, The Beast Within. Wait, is that the one where this black dude is like a werewolf hunter? Am I right? I don't know. If that's the case, that movie is awesome. Let's see. Beast Within looks gnarly. You can always do True Creepshow. Tales from the Dark Side. That's the other one that I always confuse it with. Just smoothing out these edges before I go in with some and ruin the whole thing with some details on it. All right. Let me look at that reference picture again. Let's see. Charlie writing what you saying. Just listen to Death by podcast tonight. Oh, Night of the Creeps. Dude, that was a great episode. I know. I love that. Night of the Creeps is awesome. Underrated. It's the only movie I can think of that has aliens, zombies, and whatever that aliens, zombies. What's the third thing that it has? The serial killer, the slasher. So it's got slasher, aliens, and zombies in one movie. Excellent effects. It's so good. Yeah. All right. Where we at? I gotta look at my photo reference real quick. All right. It's got swirly things. I think actually, let's see if I went like that. Okay. All right. We're gonna try that. It's gonna be weird. Let's see. Let's try this guy. Look at that again. All right, I see. Up from the neck. Okay. Yeah, Night of the Creeps. That scene with the serial killer when, first of all, Tom Atkins is the man, right? And his mustache is amazing. What are we saying? Freaky. It's Miller time. Yeah, that's where I got that from, dude. Well, that and Ghostbusters. Bill Murray says it in Ghostbusters too. Man, these details are rough. Okay. I hold my breath when I sculpt and paint. Like, it's ridiculous. Atkins is the only reason I have a stash. Yeah, yeah. I wish I could have one. When I have a mustache, I look like a Simpsons character, so I don't do that. I like the full beard, and I can't do just the mustache. What did Gucci say? It's Miller time. That's my sign off on the podcast. It's so hard to get symmetrical details when you are not ambidextrous. I like the. I really like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I feel like it doesn't get the credit it deserves. All right. So here, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm doing these like weird little swirly details in the armor. Come on, camera. Freezing up. And on one side, you can't really tell. On one side, it's not. I'm not happy with how it's not symmetrical. So with the Aves epoxy, I'm gonna like erase it. I'm gonna get my wide brush, give it a couple swipes. I'm going with this. And just create a new flat surface for it and just do it again. Hopefully I'll get it right on the second time. Smooth it out with this guy. All right. Maybe a brush in there. All right. I use compass to measure out symmetry. Yeah. God, I wish I had one. I think I do have one. Where do I have one? It's so hard to like, especially with, I know you use Aves sometimes, Erwin, or probably most of the time, but just like, I feel like every time I mix it, I get different work times with it. Sometimes, the amount that I need and sometimes not. Um, and so I feel like sometimes I'm rushing. Different work times. Yeah, it's weird. Definitely didn't get it on that time. I'll try one more time. Try this guy. Go from here. All right, much better. Not great, but better. Where are we at? Thanks, Charlie did a lot of 15-hour shifts. Doodly D. James Gunn was probably a fan of Night of the Comet. Night of the Comet. Yeah, Night of the Comet's awesome. James Gunn. What was that early movie James Gunn did where like it had the dude from Firefly? What's his name? And it had Merle from Walking Dead, and it was really gross and drippy, that movie. Slither, yeah. What's dude's name? I always forget his name. The star of that movie. The way Merle moves in that movie when he's like completely like taken over, it's like through the reeds or whatever. It's so gross. Nathan Fillion, yeah. Thanks, man. Why does this one keep freezing up? It's weird. Charlie Sushi. I know that's a typo, but it's awesome. Oh shit. Another thing I like to do sometimes. Another thing I like to do is in post is use my linoleum cutter, which I'm going to be doing with this. Right now, I'm laying down like the very faint details and of the chest armor. And when it's cured, I'm going to go back in with my linoleum cutter, and I've got it's really cool. If you guys remember when you were kids, it's got all these different like blades in the handle, different size blades. I use this thing so much. I love it. Pencil Lad, thanks for being here. Catch you later. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm gonna be using this linoleum cutter to make the armor bits deeper, and then that will also let me sand it without losing the details once I do that. So this is kind of like a preliminary laying down of the details. Thanks, man. Glad you dig it. Glad you're here. Tools for days, seriously. I mean, the best tools are the ones you just like find and make, or like, you know, weird stuff you've got laying around the house. I'm guessing I'm the only one that hasn't eaten dinner yet. What'd you guys have for dinner? Give me some ideas. Here's what I did for a day: job, film, case, work in fun labs, groovy, study animation. Will be coming very soon. Cool. Looking forward to that animation. When you're coloring something and you get so into the groove that you accidentally color something the wrong color. Yeah, seriously. I hear that. Where are we at? Stir fry for dinner. Panda Express. Vanilla ice cream. Man, Panda Express. I haven't had that in years. Stuff is awesome. Panda Express was always right next to Sabaros, right in the mall, and like, man, I used to kill some. I used to uh, double it up. I don't have one near me. Panda Express. I wish I did. That'd be awesome. All right. Now you guys, I know the white is washed out on the working on the AM fam. Have a good night. Thanks for being here, Charlie Wrighton. Yorktown, yeah, Yorktown. Or also, I spent a lot of time in North Carolina. We had a couple malls there. White Castle, yeah, seriously. Um, but I know this is washed out because of the white with the lights that I'm using. But like I said, I'm going to post some pictures um, of what I did here tonight on Instagram and my Patreon. Um, I think this stuff is a little too hard to use. So my next steps with this, once it's cured, let it sit overnight, and 8 hours or so. Usually I let it sit. I'm going to come back in with my carving tools, specifically my linoleum cutter, my X-Acto knife, um, and do a little scraping as well with some of these dentist tools to get the grooves of the details in the armor that I made deeper. Then I'll probably sand over that with a little bit of my sandpaper here. I got a real thick grit, and I got a real fine grit, just to make the armor a little bit thinner, and then make sure those grooves show. And that'll be the armor for that chest piece. And then I'm going to do an ab bit for his armor as well. And then, like I said, he's going to have his cape that goes on the back, and his sword, which is here. There it is. And I'm going to do a little sculpting on his the sheath of his sword there. I don't think I could do that with this stuff. Yeah, stuff's too hard. You can hear it, but it's still bendy, almost like a rock. It's crazy. Let's see, Michael Jordan's restaurant. Never been there. Never been there. Yorktown was my mall. Went to KB Toys whenever. Yeah, KB Toys. I used to work at KB Toys when we lived in North Carolina at the mall. That was an awesome job. My job was to test out all of the radio or remote control radio, whatever they're called, cars, like in the mall. I had to like do demonstrations, which was awesome, and then restock stuff. It's very cool. All right, so I think we've been going about what, an hour and some change. I think I'm going to call it there. I didn't get to the werewolf guy, but I will do another live stream if you guys are into it with him very soon. This guy and his cool head. What else? We got anything before we cut out? Any questions, comments, or concerns? I really appreciate you guys turning up. I'm going to post this on the YouTube channel, and it'll be under the live section. Got that glare right in my face. Sorry about that. I need that. Thanks, dude. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it was. You guys were awesome. Some great questions, some great comments, some great chit chat. Great hanging. Absolutely. Charlie, Fun Labs, Erwin, Papa, whoever's left. I think there's a handful of you guys. When will I go again? These have been random, really random, but I always post on my Instagram at AC Toy Design, like when I'm going to go live. I would like to make it a regular thing. What's tonight? Wednesday? I'm going to go eat and watch the Bad Batch, but maybe I can do a regular, send me a note, message here, comment, whatever. What nights are cool? I don't know. Of course I can't accommodate everybody, but I'm thinking Wednesday night, doing like a regular live stream on YouTube. So you guys just let me know what you think about that. Obviously you're all here. So I really appreciate it. I'm going to figure out how to shut this thing down, but in the meantime, thank you, Erwin, for being here. Yeah, we'll definitely do another stream. If you guys want to support the channel directly, patreon.com/AC Toy Design. Watching my videos helps. Liking, comment, subscribe. It's all really cool. Check me out on Instagram. I have a Twitter that I use sometimes, but not always. It's at Crohn and Oates. My last name, Crohn and Oates, or you could probably just search my name. But yeah, a lot of people I don't know and a lot of people I do know. So thanks for tuning in. I will catch you guys in the future. Be good to each other. Help somebody out tomorrow. And be good to the animals, right? They need us. All right. Thank y'all. See you soon. What? Get some oats, yo.